For the 2016-2017 FAFSA, you use income records for the tax year prior to the academic year for which you are applying. For instance, if you are filling out the 2016-2017 FAFSA, you use 2015 tax information. If you are required to file 2015 taxes, the Internal Revenue Service now gives you an option to use an IRS data retrieval tool for your 2016-2017 FAFSA. This helpful and time-saving process allows financial aid applicants and their parents to retrieve directly from the IRS certain income and information from income tax returns and to automatically transfer that information to the FAFSA application. The data is typically available within approximately 2 to 3 weeks of electronically filing your 2015 taxes or within 6 to 8 weeks of filing a paper tax return. This tutorial is meant for financial aid applicants who have already filled out their 2016-2017 FAFSA application and want to update it using the online IRS data retrieval tool. To get started, log into the FAFSA webpage at www.fafsa.ed.gov. If you have already filled out the 2016-2017 FAFSA application, you will have the option to click on Login to make FAFSA corrections. To begin filing the 2016-2017 FAFSA, click Start a new FAFSA. Enter your information to log into the FAFSA. Click Next. If you're just starting the FAFSA, you can click on the icon to start a new FAFSA, or you can click on the icon to complete a FAFSA renewal, and then follow the steps as prompted. Or if you have already previously submitted a FAFSA application, you will have the option to make FAFSA corrections. Click on this link to make FAFSA corrections. If you are a dependent student, you should use the IRS data retrieval tool to transfer from the IRS the tax return information for the legal parents and student. If you are an independent student, you should use the IRS data retrieval tool to transfer from the IRS the tax return information for the student and spouse if you are married. To use the IRS data retrieval tool, navigate to the Financial Information tab at the top of the page. If a 2015 tax return has been filed by the tax filer, answer already completed under the Parent or Student Tax Information section. After, you will be presented with a series of questions to help determine your eligibility to use the IRS data retrieval tool. If you are able to check none of the above, you are eligible to use the IRS data retrieval tool and can follow the steps as prompted. You'll then be able to see the options to enter your FSA ID and to link to the IRS. Follow the Link to the IRS link. If eligible, you will be able to link to the IRS website, which displays in a new window. You will then be notified that you are leaving the FAFSA webpage. Click OK. When you get to the IRS webpage, fill out the requested information such as your name, address, and other information, exactly how it appears on the 2015 tax return, and click Submit. If the IRS is able to validate your identification, your 2015 IRS tax information will display. You can then preview the information before agreeing to have it transferred to your FAFSA. The IRS data retrieval tool will indicate what information will be transferred to the FAFSA. The IRS will be able to validate your information. Check the box to transfer my tax information into the FAFSA and click Transfer Now. You will then be able to go back to the FAFSA website using the links provided. When you return to the FAFSA, you will then see that the data that was transferred will appear with the notation Transferred from the IRS. It is very important to not change any of the fields which contain data transferred from the IRS, or you will invalidate the information you retrieved. Answer the other questions on the FAFSA that were not populated with the IRS data retrieval tool, and click Next to continue the application process. For a dependent student or an independent student, then just follow the same steps to retrieve the student's tax information. If you, the student, filed the 2015 tax return, proceed to the Student Tax Information part of the Financial Information tab. Then select Already Completed under the Student Tax Information section. Repeat the steps described previously to use the IRS data retrieval tool. If the IRS is able to validate your identification, the student's 2015 IRS tax information will display. You can preview the information before agreeing to have it transferred to your FAFSA. Click the box to transfer my tax information into the FAFSA and then click Transfer Now. You will then be able to go back to the FAFSA website using the links provided. When you return to the FAFSA, you will see that the data that was transferred will appear with the notation Transferred from the IRS. It is very important to not change any of the fields which contain data transferred from the IRS, or you will invalidate the information you retrieved. Answer the other questions on the FAFSA that were not populated with the IRS data retrieval tool, and click Next. After you have done this, go to the Sign and Submit part of the FAFSA and submit your corrections. Please note that a new username and password called the Federal Student Aid ID replace the personal identification number or PIN for students, parents, and borrowers accessing federal student aid systems such as the IRS data retrieval tool. The FSA ID will serve as the PIN replacement. Be sure to create your own FSA ID and to not share it with anyone. If you have any difficulties with the new FSA ID process, please call the Federal Student Aid Processor at 1-800-433-3243. Click Submit My FAFSA now. Once you have completed all of these steps, the updated FAFSA with the IRS data retrieval information should be received by SUNY New Paltz within 2 weeks. At that time, the requirement will then get satisfied on mynewpaltz.edu. If your IRS tax information is not yet available and the IRS data retrieval tool is not able to transfer tax information, try back at a later time. If a tax filer still owes taxes to the IRS data will not be available until after the balance has been paid. If the FAFSA site says you are not eligible to use the IRS data retrieval tool, then you should use this option once the 2015 tax return has been filed and processed by the IRS. If you have not yet filed your 2015 taxes, it is recommended that you file your 2015 tax return electronically as soon as possible. After filing, you can then complete the IRS data retrieval process. FAFSA on the web applicants may find that their IRS data is not available yet based on when and how they filed their income tax returns. For applicants who file their tax returns electronically, information from their 2015 tax returns will be available through the IRS data retrieval tool process in approximately 2 to 3 weeks. For applicants who file paper tax returns, it takes within 6 to 8 weeks for information to be available through the IRS data retrieval process. The U.S. Department of Education also states that some tax filers with special tax filing circumstances are ineligible to use the IRS data retrieval process. If the Federal Central Processing Center has selected your FAFSA for verification, you and your parents, if you are a dependent student, may need to provide documentation of your 2015 federal income tax information on your 2016-2017 FAFSA before your federal financial aid eligibility can be determined by the college. This means that the student's financial aid package will be complete only after all 2015 tax returns have been filed with the IRS and verified. If you are selected for verification, you can use the IRS data retrieval tool to confirm your tax data in lieu of submitting an IRS tax return transcript. Tax return transcripts should only be submitted for verification if you are not eligible to use the IRS data retrieval tool or if requested by the college. To request an IRS tax return transcript, visit www.irs.gov or call 1-800-908-9946. Be sure to request a tax return transcript, not an account transcript. When you receive your transcript in the mail, you must sign it and submit it to our office along with any other requested documents. Personal copies of paper tax returns can no longer be accepted for verification purposes. Make sure to also provide any other requested documents posted on your mynewpaltz.edu account to finalize your eligibility. Financial aid applicants selected for verification should view their mynewpaltz.edu account by clicking on My Financial Aid and Eligibility for the individual verification requirements that need to be submitted and satisfied based upon their FAFSA application data. If you need help, you can also view the Helps and Hints sidebar at www.fafsa.ed.gov. You can utilize live help chat on the FAFSA website, or you can always call 1-800-433-3243. Save time by using the IRS data retrieval tool.